Hey witches, welcome back to the channel. This is Hectarios once again. I'm coming on this video to give some updates. It's kind of just going to be like a random video. First of all, what I'm most excited about, I wanted to show y'all my latest interest and hobby. I've gotten into making, I've always made jewelry, but now I'm making copper electroformed jewelry. So these are just some of the pieces that I have made. It's really fun. Like, the whole process of electroforming is really fun. I like doing it. It feels like I'm doing alchemy. I don't know if the camera's focusing or not, but I hope it was this whole time. So that's something I've been doing recently. I started like 2 months ago, I want to say. So I'm still kind of mastering it, but it's not hard or anything. It's quite easy, but there's certain like technicalities and things that you have to learn to do it. So it's also kind of expensive when you first get started. So it took me a while to purchase everything that you need. But I find it very rewarding because I've always made my own like ritual necklaces and talismans ever since I learned how to like wire wrap and basic jewelry. But making it like set in fully metalwork and stuff just really feels more, it just feels like extra, and I just really like doing it, and I love how they look, and it's fun. It's a really fun process. So I wanted to update y'all on that. I do make custom pieces, and I do sell just the pieces that I make. And all the pieces that I make, even before I was electroforming with copper, the jewelry that I make when I was wire wrapping, I always time it with astrology to infuse with the energies that I want it to have. The same as I do my spell work. I always make my talismans in that same way. So I wanted to update y'all on that. If you are interested in any of the pieces, you can check out my Facebook page, my Instagram, which the links are always in the description box. So there's that. I wanted to update y'all on some of the books I've been reading lately. Also, within the past couple months, I got these books by Gemma Gary, Traditional Witchcraft, A Cornish Book of Ways. It's really interesting. I've been kind of drawn to working with the horned god lately. I've always had a connection to goddesses more strongly than I have to gods, or to the divine feminine more strongly than to the divine masculine. I mean, not to say that I haven't had a connection to the divine masculine. I always have, but it's always felt more like a distant, or just not as close as the goddess divine feminine energy. So within like the last, really I want to say like from 2016 to now, my relationship and connection to the divine masculine, in particular the horned god, the stag horned god, has really been developing. I'll say it like that, because I still don't think that we're really close, but it has developed more. So I got these books to kind of tap into that, because they do focus more on the horned god. This is The Devil's a Dozen. I forgot to say the title of it. So I wanted to basically get some books that focused more on the horned god in particular. And I love the artwork in here in these books. It's gorgeous. And let me just show you some of my favorite pictures in here. This one is in the traditional witchcraft book. So there's like these beautiful images in here of different setups. And it really does mostly focus on the horned god. There was another image I wanted to show you. And I love the presentation of magic in this, because it's completely different from like the typical Wiccan books. This isn't really follow along that way of doing things. It's like its own tradition, and I really like that. So it's really interesting. Here's another cool image. It's beautiful. So this book talks about, it's like a complete grimoire of this tradition. So it talks about, I'll just read you the table of contents. It has the cunning path, the dead and the other world, the bucka, which is what they call the horned god in this tradition, places of power, the tools of cunning. Then there's like subsections. The first subsection is the witch's compass. And it has different chapters. Then they have the trade, rites of the moon, the furry nights, and initiations on the cunning way. And there's like several chapters in each of those categories. So I'll just give you a look. Y'all can pause it on this if it's focused. So it's pretty interesting. I haven't truly experimented with anything from the book yet, so I can't say an opinion on the magic contained in here, but I will say it was informative of that tradition, and it was just a pretty good read overall. There was a lot of stuff in here that I found interesting, like it talks about ley lines and the earth energies, which is something that I've been really interested in. Of course, y'all know the videos I've done on that. So I don't know, I found it interesting overall. I already read the whole book. I also already read all of this one, The Devil's Dozen. This one went more in depth on the horned god in particular, of course, and 13 Craft Rites of the Old One, that's the subtitle. So it's basically just a book of rituals to the horned god. So I thought that was pretty fascinating, and I'm going to try some of them. And it talks about kind of different ways that the horn god is presented, or how he comes, what am I trying to say? The different aspects of the horn god, pretty much. And so there's the chapters of this book. And yeah, it's pretty good. I liked it. So, I guess I will update y'all on my experimenting with different rituals to the horn god. I might try some of the rituals from these books, but more than likely I'm going to approach it how I do everything and just make it up as I go, write my own rituals and spells and stuff like that. And the final book I want to show y'all that I just got a few days ago, I actually got this because Ashira Star Goddess talked about it in one of her videos recently. This one is Vampire Magic, The Grimoire of the Living Vampire by Father Sebastian. And I barely started reading this one, so, well, I'm on page 42. But it's interesting. So far, it's just been like skimming over I don't even know how to explain it. It's like starting off light with just going into the terms and things like that. And I'm guessing that once you get further in the book, it starts really talking more intensely about the magic and rituals. So it's interesting to me because I've been kind of interested in that aspect of magic. There's a lot of historical, traditional, and mythological areas where witchcraft and vampirism overlap a lot. And I've always kind of been interested in that, but I haven't really ever looked too deeply into it. It's just one of those things that I was like, that's interesting, but it didn't really like pull me in to want to learn more. But I always have thought that was interesting how in a lot of different cultures that vampirism and witchcraft are connected closely. And you even see that honestly in like modern, this thought just came to me, you even see that in like modern TV shows. There's always vampires and witches in the same TV shows and stuff like that, connected in some kind of a way. So that's kind of interesting how that like persists in the current mythologies. But so yeah, I got this book because I decided I'm just gonna investigate that some more. Mostly because it has been coming into my mind lately about what I talked about in one of my other videos on psychic vampirism, and I think I talked about it in one of my videos on the Oracle of the Red Dragon, Earth's Kundalini, Awakening. I talked about energy exchange in one of those videos. I did several videos with that same title, different parts, and I talked about that. So I thought that's always been interesting to me about energy work as well. And so this book presents vampirism as a form of energy work. So I think that's pretty interesting. So I will probably give another update once I finish the book as well. And then finally, I wanted to tell y'all that I'm going to be doing some rune readings on my channel. So you know that I've been doing tarot readings on my channel, but I'm going to start doing some rune readings. I've been practicing with them for several months now and like learning it and stuff, so I want to like do some readings on the channel with runes. So I'm probably going to do this weekend's reading with runes. So I have these runes that I made out of bone that I ordered. So I'm going to use these. And the style of rune readings that I do is where you just grab some from the bag while you're focusing, and then you kind of just like toss them on the table surface, and then whatever runes there are and how they land and stuff like that, you interpret it. And that's the way that I intuitively feel like I like to do the rune readings, rather than in some kind of organized way where you're laying it out like a tarot spread or something. I've tried it that way. I've tried it casting. There's a lot of different ways that you can do it. You can look that up online. But the way that I feel most drawn to is by casting them. And I've had some pretty good results doing readings like that. So I think I'm ready to start doing some readings for y'all with the runes. So I'm looking forward to that. Let me know what y'all think. If you want me to do the rune readings or just stay with tarot, or after I do a rune reading for y'all this weekend, let me know what you like better or whatnot and what have you. Please give me some feedback on that so I'll know. But that's all I wanted to talk about in this video. Just some quick updates, and that's it, okay? Blessed be, guys.